Welcome to your second mountain. This is episode 5. If you're listening in order, this one builds on the last, and you're exactly where you need to be. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to connect two powerful frameworks, the Enneagram and Terry Reil's quadrants. The Enneagram shows us 9 personality strategies for belonging and surviving. The quadrants show us how those strategies show up under stress. When you put them together, you can see not just who you are, but where you tend to go when you're wounded. So a quick refresher. Remember the grid of the quadrants. So there's one up and one down. That's the self-esteem axis. And walled off versus boundaryless, the boundary axis. The 4 quadrants are one up and walled off, one up and boundaryless, one down and walled off, and one down and boundaryless. So if we walk through the Enneagram types by quadrant, that can really give us a feel for what these quadrants mean. Enneagram is, I've known it for a couple of years. By now, it's a language I speak and I really rely on to understand myself. So walking through each cluster, one up and walled off. This quadrant is types 1, 3, and 6, which is type 1 is the perfectionist, type 3 is the achiever. Those definitely belong here. And then type 6, the loyalist, can belong here or in one of the other ones. But we'll consider these 3 to land here under stress. These types cope by controlling, criticizing, or working harder. One up and walled off. So they're staying above others while cutting off their own vulnerability. In the one up and boundaryless quadrant, this is types 7 and 8. So type 7 is the enthusiast and type 8 is the challenger. These types push into space with intensity, energy, or force. Their survival strategy is to expand, take charge, and avoid limits. One down and boundaryless is the third quadrant we're looking at. And types 2 and 9 often fall here. This is the helper and the peacemaker. This is the fawning and the more of the codependent quadrant. Type 6, the loyalist, can also belong here in addition to that first quadrant I showed you. So the Enneagram types, the parts of you in this quadrant, they merge with others, overgive, and can lose themselves. Their survival map says, if I meet your needs, maybe mine will be met too. The last quadrant is one down and walled off. So this is types 4 and 5. Type 4 is the individualist, and type 5 is the investigator. These types protect by withdrawing, either into their feelings or into their mind. They often feel less than, and they wall off as protection. So why does this matter? When you know your Enneagram type, you can see your default story. When you place that type in the quadrants, you see your survival strategy in action. The Enneagram answers, what flavor of survival strategy do I use? The quadrants answer, where does it land me in self-esteem and boundaries? So as you reflect on your Enneagram type, ask, which quadrant do I slip into when I'm stressed? And remember, the goal isn't to eliminate the quadrants, it's to find our way back to the center, balanced esteem and flexible boundaries. Welcome back. In this video, we're exploring the one down and boundaryless quadrant. This quadrant forms when someone feels less than, one down, and tries to stay safe by collapsing or blurring boundaries. Connection matters so much here that the self quietly disappears in order to keep it. The Enneagram types most commonly pulled into this quadrant are type 9 and type 2. While they look different on the surface, they share a core survival question. How do I stay connected without being rejected or erased? In this quadrant, the nervous system believes I'm not as important as other, connection is fragile, and if I take up space, I might lose love. So protectors step in. Boundaries soften and needs go unspoken. The self is traded for belonging. This is not weakness, it's a brilliant survival strategy that once kept you safe. Let's look at how this shows up for the two types. So type 2 is the helper. If you're an Enneagram 2, connection has always mattered deeply to you. Early on, you may have learned, if I'm needed, I'll be loved. Under stress, this turns into overgiving, rescuing, anticipating other needs, and saying yes even when your body says no. In this quadrant, the 2 becomes boundaryless through caretaking. Attention goes outward while personal needs quietly disappear. The underlying belief is often, my needs don't matter as much as yours. This isn't selflessness turned up too high. It's a protector desperately trying to prevent abandonment. The second mountain work for type 2 is not to stop caring, it's to care without disappearing. From center, the 2's gift becomes mutuality, generosity with boundaries, love that includes the self, giving that nourishes rather than depletes. So a gentle practice this week for 2s is, before giving, pause and ask, is this coming from love or from fear of losing connection? Both answers deserve compassion. Only one leads to nourishment. Next is type 9, the peacemaker. If you're an Enneagram 9, harmony has always mattered deeply to you. You may have learned, if I stay agreeable, everything will be okay. Under stress, this can look like going numb, procrastinating, merging with others' agendas, or quietly disappearing from your own life. In this quadrant, the 9 becomes boundaryless through self-erasure. Preferences fade, voice softens, presence recedes. The underlying belief is often, my presence doesn't matter as much as others. This isn't laziness or indifference. It's a protector avoiding conflict that once felt too costly. The second mountain invitation for type 9s is to remember your presence matters. From center, the 9's gift becomes grounded peace, a calming, stabilizing presence that doesn't require self-abandonment. A small practice this week for 9s is name one preference out loud, even something simple, and notice how it feels in your body. No justification, just presence. So in closing, in the 1 down and boundaryless quadrant, both types 2 and 9 trade their center for belonging. The 2 merges by overgiving, the 9 merges by disappearing. Different strategies, same longing. Healing here is not about becoming tougher or more selfish. It's about reclaiming your equal worth and learning that I can stay connected without losing myself. It's attachment and authenticity. As you return toward center, needs become visible, boundaries become kind, and connection becomes mutual. You don't have to disappear to belong to anyone. Welcome. In this video, we're exploring the 1 down and walled off quadrant. This quadrant is about feeling less than and protecting yourself by withdrawing. Instead of reaching outward or merging with others, the system here retreats inwards into feelings, imagination, or thought. The Enneagram types most commonly pulled here under stress are types 4 and 5. They look different on the surface, but they share a core survival belief. It's safer to step back than to risk being seen, needed, or disappointed. In the 1 down and walled off quadrant, the nervous system responds to threat by pulling away. Energy contracts, connection feels costly, presence feels exposing. Instead of saying I'll stay safe by expanding, this quadrant says I'll stay safe by retreating. The one down stance carries a quiet belief. Others have something I don't. And the wall goes up, not to punish others, but to preserve what feels fragile inside. Let's look at how this shows up differently for types 4 and 5. So type 4 is the individualist. If you're an Enneagram 4, depth, meaning, and emotional truth have always mattered deeply. You may have learned early something essential is missing and I have to feel it fully. Under stress, this can show up as withdrawing into emotion, comparing yourself to others, and lingering in longing or melancholy. In this quadrant, the 4 becomes walled off through feeling. The inner world becomes safer than connection, and the one down stance sounds like others belong more easily than I do. The second mountain does not ask you to abandon your depth. It asks you to bring it into relationship. From center, the 4's gift becomes emotional truth that heals. Creativity without isolation. Depth without disappearance. Meaning that connects instead of separates. A grounding question for this week for 4s is, what is already whole here, even alongside the longing? For type 5, the investigator, if you're an Enneagram 5, understanding, autonomy, and conservation of energy have always mattered deeply. You may have learned, if I retreat into my mind, I'll stay safe. Under stress, this can show up as withdrawing, withholding, or staying in analysis instead of presence. In this quadrant, the 5 becomes walled off through thinking. The mind becomes refuge. Engagement feels depleting. The one down stance sounds like, I don't have enough energy, knowledge, or capacity. I don't have enough to give. The second mountain invites you to trust that you have enough presence, enough energy, enough to stay connected without disappearing. From center, the 5's gift becomes grounded wisdom, insight that's shared, knowledge that nourishes, clarity that invites connection. A small practice for 5s to try is notice one moment today where you stay just a little longer than you normally would and see what happens. So in closing, in the one down and walled off quadrant, both types 4 and 5 protect themselves by retreating. The 4 withdraws into feeling, the 5 withdraws into thinking. Both strategies say, I'll stay safe by staying back. Healing here doesn't mean forcing connection. It means risking presence, gently and at your own pace, while holding the truth that I am enough and I have something to bring. If this episode resonated, you can download the companion worksheet in the show notes. This series is designed as a starting point, a way to begin understanding your patterns and your inner world. If you'd like more structure and support, you can continue inside the free hub. And if you're ready for deeper work, you can apply to join a small group coaching circle where we do this work in real time together. You can find everything at yoursecondmountain.com. I'll see you in the next episode.